What's up, everybody? The Daily News released a bombshell recently with a bunch of Knicks-related news, including a report that the Knicks are willing to part with RJ Barrett in a trade package to land Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. So in this video, I'm going to cover all of the recent Knicks rumors mentioned in the article and give my take. But before we continue, please like the video and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a banger. Now let's get started. Now back to the first report. It makes sense that the Knicks would have to part with RJ Barrett in order to land Damian Lillard or Bradley Beal. Barrett is the best asset that the Knicks have outside of Julius Randle. He's coming off an excellent second season where he averaged 18 points per game while shooting 40% from three and playing outstanding defense, and he's still just 21 years old. I would imagine that Washington and Portland wouldn't trade their star players to the Knicks unless RJ Barrett was included in the deal. I recently made an entire video on Damian Lillard where I said that I would be totally against a Knicks trade for him. Lillard would obviously be a great player to have. He's a top 10 player, but trading for Dame will require a king's ransom. A Damian Lillard trade will not only cost RJ Barrett, but multiple first-round picks, along with Emmanuel Quickley and Mitchell Robinson. There's no way Portland deals Dame unless they get a trade offer they really like, so if you're the Knicks, there's no reason to trade for him. Damian Lillard and Julius Randle alone will not win a championship, and if you give away the farm for Dame, there won't be assets available to build around them. As for Bradley Beal, again, I would rather the Knicks continue building than to give a bunch of assets for him. All the Knicks have to do is remain patient, and Beal will be a free agent in the 2022 offseason. Then they can sign Bradley Beal while sacrificing nothing but cap space. The Knicks will have a much better team if they can add Beal to what they have now, rather than gutting the roster for him. Let's not forget that 10 years ago, the Knicks gutted their roster for Carmelo Anthony when all they had to do was wait 6 months for him to become a free agent. The Knicks need to be patient here. They're better off waiting to sign an all-star player in free agency instead of giving up a bunch of assets for them now. The article also mentioned that if Beal and Dame aren't available, the Knicks could have interest in Collin Sexton, Terry Rozier, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Collin Sexton is coming off a career year in Cleveland in which he averaged 24 points per game. He's obviously a great talent, but he's been in trade rumors because there's questions about whether he's part of the Cavs' long-term plans. As talented as Sexton is, he's pretty underwhelming as both a playmaker and a defender, and he's not a great fit with Darius Garland. Garland is coming off another good season, but because they're an undersized backcourt, they really struggle on defense, which is part of the reason why the Cavs are so bad as a team. It's pretty well known that the Cavs will eventually have to split up this backcourt, which is why Sexton is in trade rumors. As for the Knicks, it's no secret that the Knicks could use an upgrade at point guard, and Sexton would not only upgrade the point guard position, but give them a long-term solution at the point guard position as well. As long as the Knicks don't give up too much in a Sexton trade, he would make a lot of sense. Now on to Terry Rozier. Rozier is coming off a career season. He averaged 20 points and 4 assists per game the past year for Charlotte on excellent efficiency. Now with the Hornets trade Rozier, the Hornets do have a logjam at point guard between Rozier, Ball, and Devontae Graham, and Ball is clearly the Hornets' future at point guard. So is it feasible that they could trade him? Possibly. Rozier is another player that would be a major upgrade at point guard for the Knicks. He's an excellent shooter and defender and will provide the Knicks with another elite shot creator next to Randle. The Hornets aren't going to just give him away for cheap, but as long as the Knicks aren't giving up too much, he would be a nice addition. Plus, Rozier is only 27 years old, so it's possible that he could continue to get better. And finally, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't see the Thunder parting with him. OKC is at the very early stages of a rebuild, and Shai is clearly the player that they're building around. He's coming off a year averaging 24 points and 6 assists per game on excellent efficiency, and he's a great defender. I'm going to keep this short because there's no way OKC would trade him. Lastly, the Daily News also reported that there could be mutual interest between the Knicks and Kelly Oubre Jr. Oubre Jr. could possibly be a decent free agency pickup as long as the Knicks don't overpay. He's coming off a year averaging 15 points per game for the Warriors, but it should be noted that he only shot 32% from 3 and was pretty inconsistent on offense. He is athletic and he is a good defender though. It also should be noted that he's a year removed from averaging 18 points per game while shooting 35% from 3 on Phoenix, so the hope would be that if they sign Oubre, that he can rediscover his Phoenix Suns form. Maybe Oubre Jr. can play better under Thibodeau as a solid bench piece, but I wouldn't give him any more than a one-year deal. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. Would you like to see the Knicks trade for Dame, Beal, or any of the guys mentioned? Would you like to see them sign Kelly Oubre Jr.? Tell me in the comments. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and have a great rest of your day.